Welcome to the Any Given Chance podcast. Stories about passion and sacrifice, what actually goes on behind the scenes in the consistent chase of everything. We're going to bring you some untold stories, some of people you know, some of people you don't. These stories that we bring on with our guests are nothing short of inspiring and will get you out there chasing your own goals as well. Join me, your host, 3am 365, Matty Minion, as we dive into these incredible stories. And of course, as the podcast grows, so do we together. So stick with us from the start, hit that like and share, subscribe button, get your family and friends involved, and we'll see where we are in 100 podcasts. No days off, no excuses.
Any Given Chance podcast. Basically, we're doing stories about people up and coming or people who have made it and the actual grind in and behind the scenes, what actually goes on to get to those dreams, goals, championships sort of thing. So, hey, we got Leah Pope here today, professional boxer, just turned pro as well.
Yeah. Been a bit of a ride, bit of a journey.
How'd you get into boxing? How'd you do it?
Actually, a fellow, almost a family friend of mine, Brad Wool, which I believe you're doing an interview on. His old man was good mates with my old man, and somehow it happened that he was fighting for the Australian titles in Sydney, I believe, in early 2000s. And
how old were you then?
I think I was about 14.
Yeah,
I was 14, and he said, "Oh, do you want to come?" So I said, "Yep, sweet." So I flew down to Sydney and watched him compete at the Australian titles. He won them Australian titles. And about a week later, as soon as I got back home, I said, let's go to the boxing gym.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. And
As soon as you walked in, addictive as well, isn't it?
I haven't looked back. So
and how I even came about it, I've always played rugby league my whole career. Always had that contact in me. As soon as I finished retiring from rugby league, I was like, I need to get hit, tackled or something.
It's always something missing. I've tried to leave it, but I always find myself back in the gym, man. I can't help it.
And mate, for most of it, what it is, like boxing, one of the most, you find someone fitter on the planet.
Yeah.
So, mate, health-wise and that, it's actually killer. So 14, walked in the door, kept coming back because you love it. So when was your first fight? When was your first amateur fight?
I was thrown in the deep end. First amateur fight, I think I trained for about probably 2 months. Never fought before. I played a bit of footy back then, and I was juggling football and boxing for my first 2 fights. But I always loved to get into a bit of a scuffle playing footy. So
when you're allowed to, back in the day, you're allowed to do it. 10 at the bin, see you later.
Yeah,
thought you'd try into that. And how'd you go? Did you get a win?
I won my first 9 fights.
Yeah.
In my first 9 fights, I won a Queensland title. I went to the Australian titles in Canberra. I fought good kid that had about 30, 40 fights, and I lost on points as it was back then. And that was, I think, my 9th fight and my 10th fight.
How many rounds was that?
3. So amateur,
3 twos?
Amateur boxing, yeah. So I think I might have been a junior or a youth. And I think juniors are 3 2s and then youths are 3 3s. And youth might be 3 2s. I'm not sure. Yeah. And then seniors are 3 3s. So
that's completely different what you did back then to what you do now, because with 3 2s, you don't have much time. You got to
explode out, go. So there's not much thinking really involved. It's just, if you throw more punches, you're more or less
fight.
You know? So
don't get hit and hit them more and explode, because I guess you get 30 seconds worth of blown out and then you suck them in and you get another 30 seconds, more like a hit workout though, when you're an amateur sort of figuring it out. You did that, you got down to the Australian titles, you lost on points. How old were you then?
That was all in the same year when I was 14.
When you were 14?
Yeah. So I was, back when I was that age, I was fighting. Sometimes I'd fight 3 times a month. You know what I mean? So I'd fight more like 3 weeks in a row, and just, it was more like playing footy every weekend. You're fighting every weekend. Yeah.
At that age, you're still sort of figuring out there's not that lethal power or anything like that. So, I mean, you can get knocked and you're still in fights when you're 14, but you're not getting dropped every week. You don't need that 8 weeks from 4 weeks to recover or anything like that. Have you always been here at HVC?
No.
How many coaches have you had?
I've had a few. I've been a bit of a gym jumper. So I was at Shamrock Boxing Gym, and I was there for, wouldn't have been less than 20 fights. And then I made the transition up to the Gold Coast. My mum and dad had actually drive me from the sunny coast to the Gold Coast 3 times a week just to train. And I did that. That was with Chris Carden.
Yeah.
His name was Chris Carden up there. I think he's got Platinum Boxing Gym.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah. So I did that for 2 years. Out of that, I ended up making the Youth World Championships. So I boxed with him from a junior to a youth, made the Youth World Championships, and got a trip to Armenia on the border of Russia and Turkey.
Fuck off. How was that?
Yeah, that's where the Kardashians were born and stuff. I tell you what, man, it was, I think I was 17 at the time. I think I might have been 17 at the time. I'm not sure.
First trip overseas or?
No. I'd been on family holidays, but that was more or less a business trip, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was for boxing. So
What was it like?
oh man,
It's like, you know.
it was cold. Everyone looked like they were gangsters, man. They wore like big trench coats, and it was pretty cool. It was,
Yeah, right.
it was an awesome experience. Like I jumped in with the Cubans, all the Cuban boxers, because they were such a poor country, especially at the time, there was no funding for boxing or anything. And they had a big backpack, not backpack, like a big suitcase full of Cuban cigars, boxing gear, boxing boots, and they were just trying to sell them to anyone.
Really?
They
Just
must
to get sort of handle it?
yeah, just to get money.
That's like,
That's how it was, man. So like that was a pretty cool experience.
Did you, while you're over there, did you see like the different styles? Like different countries have different styles?
I think that was just about every country there, man. It was World Championship. So
Because people always talk about that. People always talk about the Mexican style, like getting in tight.
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
And then, you know, then you have the flamboyant, you got the Americans that fight at distance and whatnot. And Australian boxing's basically sort of learn off that and pick and choose and to get their own sort of
Yeah.
styles now. So, but what was it like being 17 over there? Like, how many
man,
fights did you have?
it was unreal. So I only had one fight.
Yeah.
I had one fight and one loss. So I fought Mongolia. I've got a bad run with Mongolia at the moment. Or when I was an amateur, I fought Mongolia a couple of times and never got a win off the country. But
Yeah.
so I fought.
The country.
Yeah, the country. Yeah. I fought them once there and I lost, and then that was it. And I was at a competition and we snuck out at night time and got up to some stuff. But no, it was good.
Yeah. Fair over another. I can't just fathom that. Like 17 being over there. It must have been an unreal trip. So you come back from there, you round the corner, you turn an 18. What do? Do you start working? What happened with the career from there?
So basically, I left school. As soon as I left school, I left home, moved to the Gold Coast. I rented a room off just someone off the internet, rented a room off them, paid $150 a week, worked at a cafe, and just put all my time and effort into boxing.
So that was it.
And that was me.
So, like, just barista it or
At a
serving
cafe.
coffees and then trading all day, every day, just putting it in.
It was tough, especially financially. Like I didn't have much support, but I wouldn't have it any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Makes you, grows you into, you get that tough skin. That's what we always talk about. Like people who are in the system or who come from money or anything like that, they don't have that hunger. They've never been starving. They've never had that fucking, what am I going to do to eat today? Like, how am I going to beat this person? How am I going to get moved forward? So ripping in, training down the Goldie and that was when you were 18, was it?
Yep.
Stay down there. How many years?
I stayed there for 2 years.
Yeah. And that was at Shamrock still or?
No.
That was
Then I was at Nerang PCYC.
Oh, yeah.
Then left Chris Carden and went to Damien O'Mara,
Yeah.
it was another gym, basically another gym. So, but then Chris ended up opening his own gym up, and then I stayed with Damo.
Damo, good coach.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
He is a good coach. He's a really good coach, but he's even an even better person. I call him quite often, and we have good chats. And he works
That mindset as well.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot of people have the skills and all that, but they drift in and out, and getting your head right and getting your mind right. And that mental health is just important.
Oh, it's
and
a big
micro,
part.
like behind every great champion is always a great coach.
Yep.
They always say that. And if you find that right one that you connect and go with, but like throughout your career, obviously you've been picking it and just taking little bits and everything from there to, so where do you see yourself now? Like obviously how old are you?
26.
26. You turned pro last year, was it?
I turned pro this year.
This
I
year.
turned pro, oh man, it was only a couple of months ago. I had, I think 2 months ago,
What's
then I
your
had,
first pro fight?
had my first professional fight.
Yeah.
Before then, I was out of the ring for a year, just, juggling family and whatnot. So
Okay, let's go back to that. From there, you're down the Goldie. What happened after Goldie and a few more amateur fights through throwing yourselves into it?
Yeah. So I had a few amateur fights, went on a few trips. So I've been
Chasing the dream, sort of.
Yeah.
Push and seeing what's available.
I think I just got to the point. I had Commonwealth game trials for the
1 for 4.
a couple before, I think. Anyway, so I had Commonwealth game trials. I made the finals to basically represent Australia at the Commonwealth Games. I made the finals for that. I fought a tough dude, and he beat me. That shattered me, and I thought, you know what, fuck boxing, fuck everything. I'm moving home, and ended up getting a job in the mines.
So you did the full fucking crack the shit.
Oh yeah. I
Threw it down, like, hey, fuck this shit. Like,
yeah, because you put so much time and energy into that. That was my life.
Yeah.
You know? And then to have it hang, was it a split decision?
did he hedge go?
Yeah, it was a split decision. I think it was my first competition wearing no headgear as well, because when you're a senior, so I think it was my first senior competition. So as a man, fighting men, it was my first one. Got beat, and it was close. I had a cut under my eye. I had blood rushing in my eye. I couldn't really see properly, but I fought out of my skin, and I fought probably the best I'd fought up until that point. It was just heartbreaking for me. So I was like, you know what, fuck the sport. I'm moving home, and I need to do something with my life. I can't just be a bum.
Yeah, chasing around. I've noticed that throughout careers, sometimes like something like that and a reset can actually, like you said, you're back here now. And you can see that even though that was disappointment a few years back, like we're talking about, getting that fire reignites and you find that thing. So burnout is also one of the things that we see a lot in sport, especially with people who've been in it so long. If you've been in it since you're 14.
100%.
For me, for
a long time, especially just the training regime. And you don't just train 3 days a week.
No.
You know what I mean? You train every day.
Yeah.
And,
if you're having that one day off, someone else isn't having that one day off. And they're making ground on you and they're putting themselves in front. And especially with fighting and that, everything's timing as much as it is down. And like that, you go a week without training and then you're just that half a second behind or so. Yeah.
At that elite level, there's fingertips in it.
Yeah.
And it's
just
always what it is,
It's always someone hungry and chasing your tail. And if you don't want to, all right, so they cracked the shoots, you went out, worked in the mines.
I was in the mines for 2 years then. I'm not sure what age, but I was in the mine for 2 years. I made some really good mates and whatnot. Then I got a job roofing. I was roofing for almost a year. Started my roofing apprenticeship. It was shit house. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It was just a bad job. So I
what, colourblind or tiles?
Colourblind.
Yeah, cutting your heads and trying to steal. Yeah, I did that when I was 18 too. No good.
Wasn't my cup of tea. So then from there, I drank a heap of alcohol and I was drinking nearly every day. And, I was going down a shit path. And then all of a sudden, I think I had a big night on the piss. I woke up and I said, you know what, like, can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, going to a gym Monday. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Went to the gym on the Monday, and then
where'd you walk in? Which one?
I went to just a local one, Extreme Boxing. And, it was enough to kind of get me off drinking every day. And, I still didn't mind a drink, but I'd drink a couple of times a month or whatever and not excessively. So,
But see, that's what I find with people in, especially like contact sports, like rugby league, boxing, MMA, anything high impact or high adrenaline. Once you're not doing that adrenaline, there's a lot of guys who turn to alcohol and drinking and that because it is that rush, or you're still searching for that, people, and a lot of people get in trouble with that as well, because you go from being an extreme and adrenaline junkie, taking these high risks, and then all of a sudden you're not doing any of it. And they're like, okay, just be a normal person in society. You just slide in right now. It's very hard, especially when you're young at that age, to find your spot in the world and what you're doing, especially when, like you said, you had your dream. You had your Commonwealth Games, I have to make it. And then a simple decision, it's like, no, you're not there.
I think at that stage too, I still I wanted to better myself, but I didn't have all of the drive and I didn't have all of the, motivation to really achieve anything. I just wanted to better myself, and that was it. And then,
back in the gym, back in the training, light that fire again.
Yeah. And then I think once I stopped for a little bit, that was when my partner got pregnant.
So in this time, you've met Jess.
In this time, I met her actually. She was at work at the RSL, and I was out on the piss, believe it or not. And then all of a sudden, she added me on Facebook. She added me on Facebook. I didn't message her for a couple of days, and I thought, oh, you know what, I might just message this girl.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we're engaged with the kids.
And how old's the young one now?
Little Olivia, she is 1 and 2 or 3 months, I think.
So how's that been? Bit of a journey?
It was hard. The first 6 months were probably the 6 months, maybe 8 weeks actually. The first 8 weeks were probably the hardest 8 weeks of my life, and I got very minimal sleep, and it was very
I'm going through that at the moment. I think my young one's 11 and he was 8 weeks preemie, so I've moved into the lounge. I think I was speaking about before. I dragged the mattress out along. I got to get some fucking sleep.
Oh man, it's not easy.
Yeah, no. So then how does that translate into boxing now? So you're working as a chippy. What's your schedule? What's your training schedule at the moment now that you've turned pro? How do you go about it? Like,
I'll tell you
give us a normal week. Let's start on a Monday.
Monday, I'm up at 3:45 in the morning, put my shoes on. I'm out for a 6K run. I get back.
Yeah.
I basically have a shower. If I have something to eat, I have something to eat. Put my gear on, go to work. I work 9 hours a day up in Redcliffe. So I travel from the sunny coast to Redcliffe. Takes me nearly an hour to get there.
On that fucking highway.
Oh, it's a nightmare sometimes.
Soul killer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think about, I'll let you keep going, but driving on those highways, and people don't understand this, like getting to work and traveling, especially being in building myself previously, that whole hour, and then if someone has a crash or the 2 hours home, you lose 3 hours of your day every day. And now you do that 5 days a week, that's 15 hours. Imagine if you put that 15 hours extra in the gym or 15 extra hours into your family or into anything but sitting in that type of track. So once again, getting that mind right and doing all that.
It can be punishing, but so I do that. I
Get home in the arvo.
I work. I don't go home on Mondays. On Mondays, I go straight to the gym. So I usually finish at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock comes, get in my car, get to the gym at 5, put my training gear on, train about 6:15, and then I'm home, shower, food,
hang out with family for as long as you can.
Then it's try and see my daughter for 40 minutes, and then
8:30 comes, you're pretty much dying.
Yep, in bed.
Back up at 4 the next day.
Back up 4 the next day for the next 3 days straight. It just depends on what part of the program is to what run I do.
So leading into a fight, so you'll have like an 8 week sort of. Is it 8 weeks that you do? Or?
Yeah, 8 to 10.
You sort of plan it to peak right on that 8 weeks. And yeah. So people don't know, like, it's not just day in, day out, same shit, same, you actually have a structured plan of how you get there. So you'll work into being, as soon as you come into the fight day, you want to be 1 or 2 days either side, absolutely flying, peaking at the top. And so does your training load actually increase, or what happens through that period?
I'm at a grueling part of my prep at the moment. So,
how far are we away from this next fight?
Just about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So
what date is it?
It's the 6th of June.
6th of June.
It's on a Sunday just after lunch, I think.
Yeah.
So, we know
it's fucking around the corner.
Yeah.
So you're in that middle part of training camp now.
Yeah, I'm at a hard part, hard part like this week. And this is just running. This isn't just, I've been in the gym as well, but I think I've run 25 Ks this week. Then that's also working 9 hours a day as a carpenter. And then that's also training in the afternoons. That's just in the mornings. So
that's fucking nuts. So this is what actually goes in behind coming into a fight.
Yeah. And it's hard. And if you want to be the best and you want to be, you got to do what it takes, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. Who you got coming up? Who you fighting?
I'm fighting a guy that I've previously fought in the amateurs.
Yep.
His name's Fabio. I fought him over 3 threes. I beat him pretty comfortably. He's from the Gold Coast, actually.
Yeah.
From Gold Coast PCYC. I've got him, and that's over 8 rounds. So I've only ever fought 4 rounds.
4 rounds. And this is the first one. This is my first
8-round fight. So, it's going to be challenging.
8 threes or 8
threes?
8 threes.
8 threes. Right. And man, he is one tough dude, man. He's tough, and I'm expecting him to go 8 rounds, and I'm expecting me to really box out of my skin, and I have to push it.
Yeah. Find out who you are and those last 4.
But I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it. I love that feeling of you can't go anymore, and then you push that a little bit.
Get that through your head, that mentality. When you think you're done, people don't understand how much you still got left in.
Yeah.
This is what I love about individual sports as well, especially boxing. I've played a lot of team sports and that. You can get done on selections, or you can get done on, coaching on picking you, or you can get done on someone didn't put in their effort and let in a try. But when you're in that ring, like you said, there's nowhere to hide. There's you, there's him, and there's the third person as well, which is yourself. Like what you're talking about, that you're battling. You're always consistently battling that little man in your head going, all right, well, don't give up. You got to keep going. Can you see this? He's hurting just as much as you.
I think I'm a different kind of dude. I don't know. It's weird because I don't feel like I really struggle to really push myself. I just kind of do it because I just
enjoy the feeling.
I say to myself sometimes, like, who's watching? You know what I mean? Like, my daughter's going to be there. So I can't lose. It's pretty hard, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I put everything into it.
You can tell by the emotion, everything like that. Yeah. That I'm feeling as well. Like,
I'm an emotional dude.
Yeah, mate. It comes with a high price, what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve. And, mate, all skin teeth, because a lot of people, like you said, would have put the cure on the rack by now. And no, it's too hard, bastard.
It's a hard sport.
Yeah.
Like, you give your whole life to it, and it'll give you nothing back. You know what I mean? Like, now that I really think about it, like, I bust my ass literally every day. I just sparred 8 rounds. today, and they were probably the fucking worst 8 rounds that I've ever sparred. Like, so bad, but it's one of those things, like, guarantee you I'll be up in the morning and I'll be going again. Like, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, and like you said, that grill and toll of just everything day in, day out, day out grind and how much is invested into it. So with what you're doing, how do you go about all your food and your diet? Like you were speaking about before, and Jess takes
I don't cook. I do a bit of cleaning.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm just so lucky. My partner, she does everything. If I didn't have her, I don't know what I would do. She cooks me meals, and she cooks me the right meals, and she knows. Like, I've had programs and stuff like that, but we've kind of thrown that all out the window. Even just like your pre-made meals and stuff like that. Like, nothing's better than a home-cooked meal of whatever I need. And, just a steak and salmon and
so she does a lot of working out on the person.
Yeah.
To get her on here, start talking about what food she does up and whatnot. She'd have great insight.
She doesn't stop between making food for me. She's very picky herself, so she eats near to nothing. She also makes meals for our little daughter Olivia as well. So, like,
she sort of understands what calories you need for the day, and what sort of foods are best, and what foods your body works off best. Everything like that. Yeah. All right, fuck, man, it's definitely one hell of a job. Great, getting through there, becoming like. So let's say we get this one, the next fight out of the way, clean up, get a win, get 8 rounds.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, right now I am not losing. It's not an option. Simple as that.
Well, you can tell from your energy here, mate, today that you don't even have that doubt in your mind. What's the future? What's the goals? What's where Pope see in the next 2 or 3 years? Like,
I'm not one of those realistic dudes that's saying, I'm going to be a world champion. Like, and I'm probably not going to be a world champion, Like, I might get some kind of opportunity where I fight for something big that's good money, but around the corner, we're in talks to some really big fights, some massive fights, some regional belts, and some.
You get that money
a big money fight. If I get this one out of the road pretty well, I got a big money fight coming up that'll help us out, and it's quite promising.
That's the other side of boxing as well, isn't it? Like, you can be in here and you can be the best and you can put your heart and soul into this, but then you got the promotional side. You got to find fights. You got to find the right opponents, like styles-made fights. Not throwing yourself in the deep end, and then building that reputation and building that thing to be able to get to those champion fights, and then not being too dangerous that those people don't want to come to you. Well, you got to fucking balance of that people don't understand.
The professional games, I'm only obviously new to it, but I've got a manager as well, Matt Clark. He's a really good dude and a really, really good boxing brain, and he's sorting my career out at the moment. But even then, like, I'll fight anyone. As long as, like I say to my coach, if you think
if you think I'm right, trust you.
I don't care who it is. If he believes in me, then I believe in myself, and that's what we did.
So who have you got now? Who's your coach? Who's training?
At the moment, well, not at the moment, because I think this will be it now. I won't be going to any other gyms. We're looking at getting a place pretty close here to BUR. So I think this is where I want to stay, and this is where I want to finish my boxing career until I retire.
And we're here at HBC. And
Hinterland Boxing Club, here at BUR.
Head coach is
Stephen Pitt. He's like, got punched in the head a bit tonight.
Pitty, he's your brother.
So
how long have you been with him for?
I've been with him since I've been a professional.
So and you stayed on a Pitty now.
Yeah, I used to do a bit of rounds with young Dana Coolwell, and Stephen messaged me and just see how I was going, because he's just one of those genuine people, really good people. And even then, like, I wasn't his boxer. I boxed at another gym, but I was an apprentice and whatnot, and he was really helped me out, and he'd give me a parachute. He had a shop around the corner here, just like a sports shop, just a local sports shop. And he'd say, come down to the shop, pick out a pair of shoes, and you can have a pair of shoes and stuff like that. So even when I wasn't his boxer, like, he'd look after me, and it was one of those times where, I was a bit down on myself. My relationship, it was good, but there was always I just felt like there was something missing, we were all kind of
searching for that.
Bit up and down. And then, I had a message from Steve saying, hey, mate, how you going? Like, you looking to box again soon or what? Straight away messaged him back and I said, all right, I want to come to your gym and I want to start bloody next week or whatever it was.
Let's go.
And that was it, kind of thing. So I've been now with him since December, I think. And even then, like, I was drinking a bit, and because I wasn't boxing after the birth of my daughter. So I was drinking a bit, and I was getting into mischief with couple of mates and stuff like that.
Calm and fuck.
Yeah, and then
doing all the stupid shit that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah,
but you do when you're that age, trying to keep yourself entertained.
So even then, like, I haven't had a drink since Steve messaged me. since he messaged me, I haven't had a drink, and
And you know, $1 million.
I feel good, man.
Yeah.
I feel really good, and I'm one of those people where it's
all or nothing.
I'm shit on the piss.
Yeah,
As well, you know what I mean? Like I have one and I can't stop. I gotta have 3, and then I gotta have 6.
Got that mentality, yeah. It's the all or nothing.
All or nothing, 100%.
I'm the same, man. I've got no 3 beers in me. I've got 3-day bender, or I've got don't drink at all.
Yeah.
So, and I'm moving on. So my 3-day benders also go from like 2 weeks recovery. I'm in the third position. So,
the older you get, the harder it is.
Bro. Especially with kids now. So,
and then if you don't come home, you're in big trouble.
yeah, tell you gonna get up early. Yeah, and they drop the kid off, and then you look after that now. So,
or wake up. Your daughter's hungry. She won't.
Look, you can tell. So this is a good fit here, HBC with Pity.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. It's a small group of people, a small gym, but
Everyone here pushes you.
oh man, it's everything I need and more. You know, Stephen, the amount of time that he puts into me.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got no idea, man. Like on the weekends, he'll put us through training on Saturdays. We do triathlons on Sundays. Like he knows his business, and he just gives us so much time. Like we're basically his kids, you know what I mean? Like it's the way we kind of see it. And like, I'm very thankful to have him as a coach because he's a great person, great coach, and couldn't ask for any.
Well, you can see that team structure, Pity leading the way, and then you give him everything, and then Jess comes in and does that. There's so many pieces to the puzzle that people don't see behind the scenes of him being a professional boxer. And then, of course, at the end of the day, the paycheck. Everyone thinks fucking get $1 million. You don't get $1 million. You don't. There is no 10, 20, 30 grand fucking fight.
For sure, you're not. Like sometimes, like when I'm running in the morning and I'm hurting and I'm trying to push and I'm trying to push, I ask myself, why the fuck do I do this?
Yeah.
Why do I do it? And I can't tell you. I can't tell you why. Like it's just one of those things where I have to. I have to box.
I think as well, in your prime right now, you got so much to give and so much to give the sport. You need to stay in it, especially with how much energy and emotion you and me have exchanged throughout this chat. But I think regret, it would be one thing. You don't want to be waking up when you're 40 going, why not quit? Quit. I always say that as well. I always say quitting's forever. Pain is only temporary.
Yeah.
So I think you always have that in the back of your mind. And so certain people don't have that in them, mate. Certain people have it down, and it's really good to see. All right. Well, last but not least, who's got your back? Who's throwing your sponsorship towards these fights?
At the moment, I've got Fatality Fightwear. JJ for the Fatality Fightwears. He's backed me since day one. As soon as he found out I was boxy and I was going pro, he called me up straight away and he said, "Hey man, I got this clothing brand. I want to look after you." Yep. So JJ's been looking after me there, and he's a good dude and a good mate of mine as well.
Yes.
I've got Mayor Fine Foods, Sam Mayer. Mayor Fine Foods, they're everywhere. They're all through Woolies and whatnot. They're killing it. Well, that's almost like a family friend. I think Mum kind of sorted that out.
Yeah.
I got Belando Tequila. Yeah.
You're worst enemy. No, you'll get thrown on the back with her.
I've been asking Jessica, after a fight, can I get a bottle of this tequila? No. You're like, okay, fair enough.
That's my go-to too, tequilas, margaritas, man. Yeah. So they're looking after you as well. Yeah, little take off the edge.
Yeah, Belando Tequila, Jesse Ross, he's the founder of it. I believe he's the founder of it, and he was a teammate when I was at during PCYC, and he went to the Olympics as well. And I was up there kind of with him when he was at his peak. Now he's doing good things there. I've got six sponsors. I've got Madsky painting on the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
they're a good painting business. From Madsky's a really good dude, and he come and watch me with his kid my last pro fight, which was good.
So your next fight's on the 6th of June.
Yep.
Where's it at?
It is at 6th of June, Night Quarter. I think doors are opening and starting at 12 o'clock. Not sure how many's on the card. All I know is I'm main event. So
main one there,
yeah. That'll be a cracker of a fight, and I can tell you what, it's going to be an 8-round war. And if I finish him early, so be it. But
you're going out. I'm going to be there for 8. Otherwise,
I'm going to be there for 8, and I'm prepared to go for 8. Yeah. And it's what I need. I want to push for 8. So if I can
sort of keen for that 8 round.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like if you stop them early, sweet. If you get that good, but you're sort of keen to get that 8 rounds under you and know what it feels like and get that experience.
Ever since the fight was announced or come across the table, I've been mentally preparing because it's a big thing. And it can be quite daunting, find 8 rounds, man. Like
8 trees, people don't understand. If you
against another man that wants to knock you out, fuck, man, it's pretty hard. And he's tough. He's gonna come forward 8 rounds, but I'm ready. I'm keen for it.
Where can we get tickets? What do we do?
I've got tickets. I don't think you can buy any online. I think I'm just kind of throwing out on social media. I've got all the tickets.
Where can they find that?
Your socials. Yeah. Facebook. I got my Facebook and I've only got Facebook and Instagram. I'm not really good with that whole technical thing, but yeah, Liam Pope on Facebook and LPOPEE on Instagram. And
Jump there if anyone wants to come along and fight. Throw a DM, get in the DMs there, book a table. I've got a table there with a couple of the boys, so I'm definitely looking forward to it, mate.
You're in with a rowdy bunch, so it'll be,
yeah, I know. I don't know why I got thrown in that table.
and I can tell you what,
I don't drink either, so
it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're on the undercards and you're the main fight feature there, then hopefully we're going on the bigger and better things.
Yeah, and then we're in the works of fighting. I think it's Sam Goodman, which is he's a very good boxer. That I believe especially if I can get it at super bantamweight, he doesn't beat me. No, simple as that. No one in Australia beats me at super bantamweight, hands down. Simple as that.
Yeah. Fucking loved it. Absolutely appreciate all the time, mate. I'm so
awesome.
I want to come back and do it. Let's do it in like 4 fights time when you've got these ones out of the way and see what's changed and see what the mentality has gone on there. So thanks, East Popey.
Awesome. Thank you.